Greetings makers, this is Amy with Soft Wind Crafting. Today we're turning simple paper into handmade magic. So let's grab your supplies, your cardstock, your adhesive, your stamps, and scissors, and let's get started. So today I'm going to make this card, and it is using the Sweet Bugs stamp set and also the Stamp and Cut emboss, the images with it, the dies, the Sweet Bugs dies. And I used this stamp to make our little caterpillar, and then I used the dies to create our mushrooms. And for some reason, forever I thought that these were leaves. And I was looking around and I saw a card on Pinterest, and I can't remember who it is. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. But she made this really pretty card. It's what inspired this one. I kind of took her idea and just did it my own way, but differently. But she had used these caps, and I did not know. In fact, when I looked at the card, I thought she had a different, from a different company, a set of Toadstools. And so I just made them the regular way, because in my mind these were leaves and not the tops of the caps of the Toadstools. We're just going to continue this using these two dies. I'm also using these. On this card I used butterflies, but on the card I'm going to make today I'm going to use the pieces I already cut out of the snails and the dragonflies. I also use this die to cut out the bug, the caterpillar. And then I use this flower die to cut out these flower pieces here. All right, so we're going to use the stamp. We're going to use it for just this, and then I'm going to use the Just a Little Hello from the Cutest Crew in order to make the inside of the card. Okay, so let me put these aside, and let me show you the pieces that we're going to use. All right, so I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So it opens up a little differently than a regular card. I have a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 to do the inside insert. I had a piece that I cut out using the Perennial Postage dies. Okay, and so I used the second largest one to cut this piece out, right? And then I have a piece of the in color DSP from the 2426 in color designs with the peach pie, petunia pop, pretty in pink, and I'm using Summer Splash. I love this. This is my favorite color, so I just love it, and I used it to cut out the flowers as well. So when I cut out the toadstools, what I basically did is I cut out the toadstools in basic beige for the base, and then I cut out the caps with different colors, like this is pretty in pink, lemon lolly, and cloud cover. Okay, so they're just going to provide the basis for our toadstools that we're going to use on the card. Okay, so let me go ahead and we're going to get started by actually adding some color to this piece that we're going to use in the front. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use some lemon lolly, and I'm going to grab my, I don't even know what this is called off the top of my head, the brush to do the blending, a blending brush. There we go. Okay, so I'm using my lemon lolly, and I'm just going to pick up some ink. Okay, and because I want this to be a very light color, I'm not going to press very much on the cardstock. I'm going to start off the side, and then we're just going to come in, and I just want to add a little bit of color. I didn't want to do too much white on white. Okay, but I wanted it to have some of that color of the lemon lolly. I thought that would make such a good background. Okay, so I'm going to pick up some more ink. I don't even know where this, when you're blending, you can add off the kind of start by sort of that way you don't get this big splotch of color on your cardstock when you're coloring. And you can always go back and add as much color as you want. Always start off light because you can always add color, but you can't really take it away. Okay, let me do one more little coating. Okay, so again, starting off the side. And we're just gonna, I just want to have some color on here. I don't want it to be overpowering. And then what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to take it, I'm just going to kind of flick the edges, give it kind of like a color border. And what I'm going to do is I'll take my blending brush and I'm going to wash it out here when I'm done. So it just gives it kind of like an edge, but this, you can still see it's very light in the center. So if you want to have more color, you can add different colors. You can just keep adding more lemon lolly till you get some more of that darker, to make it darker, but I just wanted to kind of a little light background without actually having it strictly from the cardstock itself. Just want to kind of have that blend. Put that aside, okay? All right, so now let me grab my pieces. I did a lot of die cutting earlier because I wanted to save you some time. But first, let me grab a piece of scrap, which I had, and now I don't see it. Of course I lost it. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. Let me grab another piece of scrap. Well, I don't know if I have any scrap white. Let me just grab a piece of white. Give me a second. I'm reaching for it. Okay. Of course, what will happen now is now that I've gotten and used this piece, the scrap will appear. Okay, so what I'm going to use to stamp my caterpillar, I'm going to use Secret Sea. And I'm not using, it comes with a leaf on there, but I'm not going to use the leaf. I'm just going to color the caterpillar because I'm going to cut the leaf off. Okay, so I am going to cut it. I cut it out with my dies, but I'm going to cut off the leaf here in a second. So I'm using an old retired color of the parakeet. What's it called? Parakeet Party, and I have the light and the dark. Gosh, when I got these, I don't think I hardly ever used them, but I thought, oh my gosh, this would be such a cute color for a caterpillar. Okay, so let me just go ahead. I'm taking my dark first. I'm just kind of outlining the bug, the caterpillar. I don't know, is it technically a bug? And I'm going to color in the little feet and hands. Not that you'll see the hands because I'm going to cover it up with a mushroom or a toadstool, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and just add some to the eye. And I'm just going to add on the dots just to give it a little color. Okay, so that's my dark. Now I'm going to go back in now with the light. And I'm just going to kind of blend it all the color in and just kind of blend out the dark for the lines that I drew. Just kind of gives it a little bit of texture. There we go. All right, and so we can go ahead and cut that out with the dies. Like I said, I'm not going to use the leaf, so I just want to have the bug, but I'm going to use the die to cut it all out, and then we'll trim off the leaf here. All right, so here we go. Let me pull all my pieces because I cut them out early. Okay, so what I did is I started off by die cutting. You can see the toadstool in basic beige, and then I cut them out in different colors. Like I said, pretty in pink, lemon lolly, and cloud cover. And in order to get this layered look, let me grab my scissors. I'm going to take it on the color piece. You can cut, I did some of them where I cut them up here, and I did some where I cut them down here so you could have more of kind of a colored stem. I don't know that's technically something that you see in Toadstools, but I thought it was pretty. So, and that's all we do with our stamping, right? It doesn't have to be, it can be realistic, but it doesn't have to be realistic. It could be whatever you want in order to get that color. And I'm keeping my glue a little light because there's some cuts in here, and I don't want my glue to be so, oozing out to the top of my wrist. But anyway, that's the process that I did in order to create the large toadstools and the small toadstools. Okay, so what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to take our caterpillar and we're going to cut off the leaf. If you wanted to, you could save that and use it in another project. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these toadstools that I already made, and I'm just going to lay it on here. And we can see that he's going to hold it. Now, when I first made this and I was showing it to my daughter, she's like, she said, oh, I thought it was a little top heavy. I had more stuff on the card. And she was like, well, Mom, maybe get rid of some of the sand dollars. I was like, sand dollars? Do you mean flowers? And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, it's mushrooms. She thought they were beach umbrellas and the caterpillar was going to the beach. And I guess that gave me some ideas, and maybe we could do something with the caterpillar and a beach umbrella. That would be kind of cute. Of course, you have, do you see generally ants? And I'm just laying this over to where the leaf stem was. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our, instead of carrying a leaf, he's carrying a little toadstool, which I thought was cute. And I'm just going to, no, I'm going to move it back. Cover up that line. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to just kind of start laying everything on the card and getting it going. If I can get my caterpillar out of the way. All right. So what I want to do, oh, I forgot to tell you what this piece was, this, how the measurement. I cut it to 4.5 because sometimes when I cut it down to 4.25, it doesn't quite match the card. And I wanted it to be, go from to the totally across this card. So I wanted it to be 4.25, but sometimes when I do it, it's too small. It doesn't quite line up. So what we're going to do is I cut it a little bit bigger and I can just trim these off. Okay, so first we're going to start by gluing our blended piece to the basic white card base. Okay, and we're just going to kind of center it. You want to center it basically top to bottom, side to side, about the same width. And you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, that I don't see things always in the straightest way. We'll do our best. Okay, now I'm not going to put this on yet because I want this to be on top of the toadstools. And you can see on this side, when I made it, I thought, well, maybe I should do a large one with 2 small ones here, and then too large over here. Let's take a look and see how that would look. Okay, so we're going to put, let's do with the pink here. Okay, and let's put the yellow here. And you can have them off. They don't have to be in here because we got space. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Let's grab our 2 smaller ones. And then let me grab the cloud cover. Let's switch these around. No. I'm just going to lay this on here so we can kind of see with our bug. We're going to have to scoot these down. They're too high up. Okay. And then with the bug, Maybe I should go back to the way I had it. Let's go ahead. Okay, so we're going to put cloud cover there. We're going to put yellow. Oops. Sorry, I'm kind of thinking yellow, yellow, pink. Yellow. And I'm coming down a little bit with the short one. It's going to be covered up. Let's see. All right. There we go. So that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting down the Toadstools. Trying to remember where I had them exactly. Okay. All right, so there we go. And let's add this. Okay. Now I'm going to start with the yellow because I want it to be in the background. Lemon lolly. I should say lemon lolly instead of yellow because it's lemon lolly. Okay, we have pretty in pink. And then the last little one with cloud cover. And we're just going to kind of add it there. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my grid in order to make sure that that is straight. So let me line that up. Let's go ahead. I can hear my puppy moving around. She didn't stay in here with me this time. Okay, so we're going to come up here. And we're just going to lay that on there. And then we're going to, I'm going to turn it over to trim off. Okay. Sticky. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to start by adding our little summer splash flowers. Okay, so I want one up here. Now you can see, you could leave it like about 10 minutes and it'll be a little more tacky. Won't use out, but I'm going to do a little less glue there. And then I'm going to put a flower right here. Because I want to take one of these little itty bitty snails and we're going to put it so it's crawling on top of the paper. So let me add a little tiny bit of glue that's probably a little too much. And let me turn them. There we go. Oh, my finger's stuck. There we go. Keep it there. And then I'm going to use 2 of the little dragonflies. And there we go. I was like trying to see which direction is the dragonfly. So we're going to put one over here. and one up there. And I hope I like where I put this because I put the glue on first. So, and then the other dragonfly. I love dragonflies. I think they're so cute. Okay, and then now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of our caterpillar, but I can't get my dimensionals out. They're all stuck. Sorry about that. They're in the thing and they were just stuck to the box. All right, so it's okay. Just gonna pick off the backings. All right. And I kind of like, I don't want to cover up the other toadstool or mushroom, whatever it is. Okay, and there we go. And I guess I could have put the snail right there. Might have been a little better, but it's okay the way it is. All right, so now I'm ready to create, let's go ahead and do the inside of our card. Now you could use the thick cardstock, but I generally don't buy it. And so I usually just, when I come in, I do another piece to give it kind of like, to make it a little sturdy. And I know on this one, I did it in Secret Sea, but I am going to do it in Summer Splash. I thought that would be better. So let's go ahead, grab the Summer Splash. I'm going to stamp up my, just a little hello. This was from the Cutest Crew set. Okay. And then I'm just going to stamp it up here at the top. Sorry if my head gets in there. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same with the flower, with the little grass. And come down here. And there we go. Okay. So just for the sake of doing it, I'm just going to color in with the blend, the flower. And now I'm ready to put it on the inside of my card. And just using my liquid glue, we're going to center that again from top to bottom, side to side. Now you can take your bone folder or just fold it. I'm going to take my bone folder because I like the way it makes my crease. And line it up. Okay, and there we go. We have our cute little caterpillar walking amongst the toadstools card. And there you go. So I really appreciate you joining me today. So if you're still looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you can find me at softwindcrafting.stampinup.net. I'll put a link in the description below. And if you would like to join my team, you can contact me and I will be happy to help you get through, go through the process. So we are March 1st, so I'll have to look and see what kind of deal they're having for people joining demonstrators this coming month, and I will let you know. But anyway, thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time.